Today are the box openings for Duelist Nexus, so let's take a look at inside of the world premiere and the imports from the set. Now, yesterday I released a video on the imports, so let's take a look at everything else from the set. So we're going to be looking at the TCG exclusives first. We have Zutomasaurus. It is a level 2 dinosaur Earth. While you control another dinosaur monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. You can target one other monster or one other card you control, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Zutomasaurus once per turn. So it's a marauding captain type card where your opponent cannot target it for attack. So if you have 2 on the field, your opponent cannot attack. So it can come up in niche situations, but it can also pop a Babysaurus of Pterodon, which is very useful. Next up we have Finisteria, Tower of Necroworld. It is a level 10 water zombie effect, 1000 attack, 2800 defense. And if you control a level 10 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this Tower of Necroworld once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field. That card cannot be destroyed by card effects this turn. You can only use this effect of Finisteria, Tower of the Necroworld once per turn. After that, we have Kubelt, the Blade Dragon, level 6 Dark Synchro Dragon, and it takes 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuner monsters. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. If this card on the field is destroyed, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. That monster cannot attack until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use each effect of Kubelt, the Blade Dragon, once per turn. This is off the the Kubi belt or Cooper belt, so that's very nice. After that, we have Storage Pod. It's a level 6 Dark Machine fusion effect, 2500, 2500. It takes Trifortress Tops or Stegos Cyber, plus 1 machine or dinosaur monster. Cannot be destroyed by battle while a monster is special summoned from the graveyard is on the field. If a monster is special summoned from your hand, or from the hand while this monster is on the field, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, destroy them. You can only use this effect of Storage Pod once per turn. So it's slightly like a DPE. It could be super useful depending if you need to break boards, but it's very specific materials is very interesting. After that, we have one of the best ones out of these 5, which is Synchro Forceback. It's a normal trap card, and you can target monsters on the field up to the number of synchro monsters with different names you control. Return them to the hand, and you can only activate 1 Synchro Forceback once per turn. I really like this card because I've been running a synchro deck lately, and this card could come in handy. After that, we have all the Tistina monsters. We have Sentinel of the Tistina, Hound of the Tistina, Demigod of the Tistina, Crystal God Tistina, Divine Domain Batistina, which I really do like. We have Breath of the Tistina and Sign of the Tistina. And I have a image war here. So let's take a look at them. Sentinel of the Tistina, it's a level 3 Wind Aqua Effect monster, 1200 attack, 1400 defense. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. You can target 1 Tistina monster or 1 face-down card you control, destroy it, then add 1 Tistina card from your deck to your hand. And you can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Very good card because it grabs a whole entire archetype, so I'm really happy about that. Next up, we have Hounded Tistina. It is a level 4 Earth Aqua effect, 1800 attack, 700 defense. And if this card is in your hand or graveyard and you control a light Tistina monster, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per turn. Tistina monsters you control can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down defense position monster. So you're going to need Book of Moon for this deck, or Book of Eclipse. Then we have Demigod of the Tistina. It's a level 10 light aqua effect, 2000 attack, and 0 defense. If you control a Tistina card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add 1 Tistina spell or trap card directly from your deck to your hand. During your opponent's turn, if you control a Crystal God Tistina, quick effect, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face-down defense position. Then you can send all face-up monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Demigod of Tistina once per turn. This card is really good going second, and honestly, going first, you could also have a big amount of plays. Next up, you have Crystal God Tistina. It is a light level 10 aqua effect, and 2000 attack, 3000 defense. During your main phase, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face-up cards your opponent controls to the graveyard. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can change as many monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position. Then you can send all face-up monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Crystal God Tistina once per turn. So a double Book of Eclipse along with sending everything. So this is like a Daruma cannon, which is pretty neat for both of these. But in my opinion, I kind of want to wait for my judgment for the second wave of support for this deck. Then we have Divine Domain Batistina. It's a field spell, and during your main phase, you can send one Tistina monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then, if your opponent controls 3 or more face-up cards, you can special summon one Crystal God Tistina from your hand or deck. You can only use this effect of Divine Domain Bastistina once per turn. If this card is in your field zone is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Tistina monster from your deck or graveyard. Overall, a very solid field spell for this deck. Honestly, I really like that. Next up, we have Breath of the Tistina. It's a continuous spell card. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Tistina monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. You can target one face-up monster you control, or if you control a light Tistina monster, you could target one monster on the field instead. Change that monster to face-down defense position, then add one Tistina card from your deck to your hand, except Breath of the Tistina. You can only use this effect of Breath of the Tistina once per turn. Very good, giving an additional normal summon, along with if you have a light, you can flip anything face down. Very, very good. Next up, we have Signs of the Tistina. It's a continuous trap card. Activate this card by targeting one face-up monster on the field. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Aqua, Light, level 10, attack 0, defense 0, with the following effect. This card is also still treated as a trap card. During your opponent's turn, when that target leaves the field, destroy this card. During your opponent's turn, when this card leaves the field, destroy that card. Overall, Wave 1 as Tistina is definitely interesting, and I cannot wait to see what this deck becomes. I was hoping that they weren't going to be rocks, and I'm happy that they are Aqua, because you could essentially run them with, I think, Ice Jade. So that's one thing I want to test out and see. Now let's get to the imports. We have Daidara Boshi as a common. We have Stardust Worm that we saw via one of the sponsored videos as a common. Then we have Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon as a super rare. This is the card I've been waiting for so long, and I'm happy that we finally have it. Next up, we have Diabolica, the Dragonic General. Very, very good card in some Fiend decks. After that, we have Super Heavy Samurai Security as a common, Magician of Faithfulness as a super rare, and finally Magic Key Deity Ashtar 2 as a common. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will be linking a copy of this spreadsheet down in the comments below. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.